I open the door, and it's him. Let's call the boy Bob. It's him and Bob, child. Hey babe, and what's up? How are you feeling today? You already know what it is from the title of this video, so let's just get right into it, okay? So I met this guy in college. I'm not gonna tell y'all what college I went to, because y'all ain't finna be looking for folks, okay? And met this guy, real cute, light skin, and from that right there, I should have known. Anyways, sorry. Because girl, life just be life, and it's crazy. Anyways, met this guy in college, right? Which was like, it was like 3 or 4 years ago, whatever. And he tried to talk to me, and I gave him my number or whatever, gave him my Instagram, but I was, like, we were talking stuff, but like I wouldn't really I wouldn't really entertain it. I feel like at the time too, I had somebody that I was like, you got your favorite out of the bunch. So I wasn't really trying to add more, people onto my roster. So, like we would just, talk, but like nothing really consistent or anything. We would just like, we'll just like flirt or whatever, but it would just be cool conversation. Then one day I was out to eat with a friend of mine, and I had ran into him, which I hate. My God, I hate running into people, and this is gonna be one of the biggest reasons why I hate running into people. Okay, ran into him, and he was like, like you a stranger, or whatever. You know how like when people see you and that be hitting you, because like when you have somebody on Instagram and they might see your pictures and swipe up and everything, and like I'll see it, maybe like his comment or whatever, but like more so like ignore what he's saying. Like he like, oh, like you a stranger, you don't even like hit me back or anything. I be trying to text you or whatever, and I was like, ha ha ha, I'm not a stranger, you know what I'm saying? Like you can always hit me or whatever. I'm gonna respond, that's a lie. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say, oh yes, I am a stranger, and I'm never gonna respond. I'm just not about to say that. So whatever though, like that night I was a little, tipsy, whatever. I was a little drunk. So, I went home, I was bored. So, I really started like talking to him. And I was like, you know what? Mind you, like when I seen him with my friend, when I was out with my friend, this was like probably like a year and a half after I already had him on social media and everything. So I thought to myself, I was like, you know what? Maybe he like grown a little bit or whatever. I don't know. It was something in him at the time that I really, I just like grown to like, I guess. So, whatever, like we start going out on dates, and we start, doing stuff, doing things, and, we started just like really clicking and having fun with each other. Then after a few dates, he asked me to be his girlfriend. And I was like, of course, like, yes, like I'll be your girlfriend. Because at this point, like I like him, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it'd be right when you get with somebody, or right when you might like show them off or like amp them up or something. Because I think I went out with my homegirl one night, while me and him were like, together, and he was out with his friends or whatever, and I'm just telling my friend like, like, oh my gosh, like he's such a great guy, I really like him and everything, you know what I'm saying? And like, he does this to me, he does that for me, he's so sweet or whatever. But I think the next day, like, he literally embarrassed me. I forgot exactly what it was, but like the next day he did something that made me feel like never again. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, whatever. So then after a while, like he would always want to go chill with his best friend. Like his best friend, he has his one best friend. That's a girl. It's a girl though. And, I thought it was funny, because if you know me, I'm not gonna say I got anything against female friends. I don't. I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna lay that to rest right there. I don't have anything against female friends. But when it gets to a point where you're starting to spend more time with your friends then you are spending more time with me. We have beef. We are beefing. Yes. And at some point, I'm going to give you an ultimatum. And I'm going to ask you, it's either going to be them or it's going to be me. Yes. I'm an ultimatum. I don't care. I don't care. Choose one right now. I don't care. 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 So I know how y'all get. I don't really an ultimatum. I don't really an ultimatum. Of course. Yes. You got choices, baby, and you better choose the right one. Okay? Because a nigga can go any day. He can go any day, anytime. If he would have said them hoes, I would have said, cool. Let me go grab mine. You know what I mean? So, whatever. He started hanging out with his best friend all the time. And, like I said, like, I'm just like, you always with this, with your best friend and everything or whatever. And there were times too, like, when I used to go out with him, it used to be like when a guy going out with his friends and like he invites you and everything, like I used to go out with him and his friends and his best friend. So it was like, now it's getting to the point where like, okay, y'all going out, y'all leaving me out. Like, y'all always leaving me at home. Like, what's going on? So, cool, whatever. This is where this thing gets sticky. Okay? I can't believe I'm even about to say this. Like, my heart is like, okay, it's pounding. Okay. So one day my mom was out of town for I think it was like a weekend or something, or maybe like a week or something. She was doing some work out of town. And, me being fast and grown, thinking, my mama place is my place. I was like, because like where I was living, it was close to his job. And I think he was getting his tire changed or something like that. So he wanted to stop by my house so that he can be like closer to where his vehicle was. You know what I'm saying? So he don't have to like go too far back home and then come all the way back. So I was like, I was at my house with him at first. And then I was like, like I got somewhere to be or whatever. You could stay here. And I left the keys on the dresser. And I was like, if you feel like, you gotta go or whatever, just let me know. Take the keys with you, lock the door, and then like you could meet me wherever I'm at. I'm not gonna be too far. I think I went to like the library or something. I had to like print something out, or it was something I had to do, like some application or whatever. It was something. But I went there and I was there for like, I think I was there for like 45 minutes. I was there for a little longer than I was supposed to be. So even when I was there, because I told him I was like, I'm gonna be gone for like 10-15 minutes. And he was like, okay. So then after a while, like 10-15 minutes go by, he's like, like, what are you doing? Or whatever, like, And I'm like, like, I'm still here, whatever. Like, it's taking some time, whatever. Because he'd be like, I might be a little minute. Like, I'll probably be like an hour or an hour and a half more, whatever. So, because I thought like it was really going to take that long. So he's like, okay, cool. He said, okay, cool, girl. So leaving, like I said I was going to be like an hour and a half. It really took me like, I said I was already there for like 30 minutes or something. It took me like 15 or 20 more minutes. I think like 15, 20, the max probably like 30 more minutes, and like everything was done. So it didn't take me as long as it would. So I get back to my house and I see somebody's car that looks very familiar. So I'm like, like my boyfriend has a friend who has that same car, because I'm into cars. So I'm like, and like I said too, like when I used to go out with him and like him and his friends used to go out, he's like, like, babe, like, do you want to come or whatever? So I would go with him. So like, I know some of his friends and I've like been in their cars and everything. Like, so, I know, like I said, like I'm into cars. So like, I'm like, like, so-and-so got that car or whatever. And I'm like, you know what? Like, it looked like exactly like his car. Like, wow, like that's crazy. So I go in my house, child. Go in my house. Now, mind you, when you walk into my house, it's my bedroom, and then when you walk all the way fully in, it's like the kitchen. So I walk in, and I immediately sat my keys and my bag down on the island, and I went to go get me some water. So I open the fridge, and I hear like moaning. But I'm thinking it's my neighbors. So I'm like, oh, somebody up there getting it on. But then I was like, wait, it sounds a little too close. So I was like, I was scared at this point. Like at this point, I was scared, but I wasn't scared because I was scared. Yes, I was scared because what I was gonna find. But I wasn't really scared because I was gonna find. I was gonna scare because how I was gonna react. Because I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I don't got no sense sometimes. Like seriously. So at this point, my heart is racing. Like my heart is like I even said, like when I was about to tell y'all this, like my heart is just like pounding. I'm like, I pray there's no in my room with this man in my bed. Oh baby, I wish it was a in my room with this man in my bed. First of all, the door was cracked, which is funny to me. Like I must have been so thirsty because I just ran in the house. I didn't even look to the left, to the right. It was so hot out. I was just like, I'm trying to get me some water. I opened the door. And it's him. Let's call the boy Bob. It's him and Bob, child. It's him and Bob with the car outside. It's him and Bob with the car that is sitting outside my house. That I literally just said, oh wow, that's Bob's car? I mean, oh wow, that looks like Bob's car? Wow, and they literally got the same rims and everything. Like, wow, like they got the same car as Bob. I go in my house and Bob is with my man. My man. Now I'm not gonna lie to you. I was a little happy about that part. I was a little happy. I was a little happy that he was the one getting bent over. Because if you was the one doing it, if he was the one doing the fucking, and I knew he had sex. You know what I mean? Oh my gosh. Girl, what did I do? What did I do? I did nothing. What am I gonna do? I closed that door. I closed that door. Got my keys. Got my bag. I actually went in the room. I got my other keys. Because I left a pair of keys for him in the dresser. On the dresser. I went and got that as well. And I straight told him, I said, when you're done, clean it up. And I left. Yep. Because what was I gonna do? You know what I mean? What was I really gonna do? What was I really gonna do? Like, what was I really gonna do? 2 men. And of course, you know, he got dressed, ran up after me. Oh my God, baby, I'm sorry. I just walked. And I just walked to the end of time. And I cried. I walked to the end of time and I cried, y'all. I cried. I just cried because, like, imagine how that makes you feel. Like, I felt so insecure at the time. I just cried. You know? I just cried. I cried while I was looking for a new mattress on my phone. I just cried. But that's all I could really do because I was like, what was I gonna do? I just was so humiliated. And it took me so long to even process what I seen. I was just like, are you kidding me? Like, how embarrassing. Like, how, like, do you know how that feels? You know what I mean? I'm glad I can talk about it now, but it's like, it was just so embarrassing. It was just so embarrassing. So embarrassing to the point where I was like in shock. I was like stung. I was just like, okay, now what? You know what I mean? And then come to find out, that's why I even mentioned the best friend, right? Because the whole time I thought he was with the best friend, right? Come to find out, like a few weeks later, I guess somebody had like found my Instagram or whatever, and they were sending me like hella pictures and like DMs of like him being with Bob, you know, while the days that he said that he was with his best friend. So like the whole time like he was with Bob, telling me he's with his best friend, and I'm thinking he's out here doing something with his best friend, but he's with Bob. You know what I mean? It was just a nasty it was just a nasty situation, girl, guy, whoever. It was so nasty and so rude. So nasty and so rude. Get tested regularly, okay? And I don't know if there's any way, if there's any way, shape, or form that you can tell if somebody's gay, because I'm even trying to think, like, I don't even remember like seeing any red flags or anything, like, you know what I mean? It just was so like out of the clear. It was just so like out of the clear blue sky, child. Anyways, I feel like now I feel like exactly how I felt that day. I'm just over it, girl. Okay. Like, comment, subscribe. You already know. Goodbye.